Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we are covering Krishna's embassy to the Kaurava court. This is section 89 to 131 of the Udyog Parva and there is a lot happening here, so let's break it down. Section 89 to 90. Krishna arrives at Hastinapur. Krishna leaves the Pandava camp early in the morning after his morning prayers, bath and rituals. Everything done properly. He is going as a peace envoy, not as a warrior. He enters Hastinapur and the whole city comes out to see him. The streets are decorated and people are lined up on rooftop. Even the Kauravas, most of them, come out to receive him. Bhishma, Drona, Kripa and Dhritarashtra's son. The only one who does not show up is Duryodhana. Krishna first visits Dhritarashtra, greets everyone with perfect protocol, respecting age and rank in the right order. He then has a meal declined at Duryodhana's palace and instead goes to Vidura's house. He then meets Kunti. The meeting with Kunti is very heartbreaking. She hasn't seen her sons in years. She asks Krishna about each of them. Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev. One by one, she asks how they survived the forest when they were used to palaces. She talks about Draupadi, how she suffered the humiliation in the assembly and says that grief was sharper than anything else she'd felt. And then she gives Krishna a message for her sons. Tell Yudhishthir his virtue is slowly decreasing. Tell Bhim and Arjun the time has come. A Kshatriya woman bears sons for this very moment. If they let this moment pass, I will abandon them forever. Section 91 to 93. The night with Vidur. Before the big assembly, Krishna has a long private conversation with Vidur throughout the night. Vidur is honest with Krishna. He says, Krishna, this mission of yours is not well judged. Duryodhana does not listen. He is driven by pride, greed and lust. But Krishna responds with something profound. He says that I know all of this. I still have to try. Because if I don't, people will say Krishna never even attempted peace. And besides, the merit of a righteous attempt belongs to the person who makes it, even if it fails. This is not a naive optimism. This is moral clarity. Krishna knows the outcome is probably fixed, but doing the right thing still matters, even when it won't change anything. Section 94 to 95, the heart of this episode, the big speech in the Sabha. The next morning, Krishna arrives at the Kaurav court. The scene is magnificent. His chariot rumbles like thunder, the ground shakes and kings rise from their seats. And then he speaks. He addresses Dhritarashtra, but he makes sure everyone in the hall can hear. First, he compliments the Kuru race. He says, your family is known for joy at others' happiness, grief at others' sorrows, forgiveness, sincerity and truth. These are your family values. It would be a shame if anyone in this race acted against them, especially you Dhritarashtra. Then he gets direct. Your sons, led by Duryodhana, have abandoned both virtue and profit. They are acting out of pure greed. This danger that threatens everyone, it starts with the Kurus. If you stay indifferent, the whole earth gets slaughtered. Then comes the offer, and it's a very simple one. You fix your sons, I'll fix the Pandavas. That's all it takes. He then speaks on behalf of the Pandavas. He quotes their message to Dhritarashtra. At your command, we went to the forest for 12 years and lived in hiding for the 13th. We did not break our word. We held ourselves to dharma. We kept believing our father Dhritarashtra would honor his side. We now ask, just give us our share. Treat us like sons. We are ready to serve you in obedience or to fight. The choice is yours. Then Krishna reminds Dhritarashtra of Yudhishthir's conduct, how even after being deceived, exiled, humiliated, he never turned against Dhritarashtra with anger. He returned trust every time. And then Krishna makes his final appeal to the assembled kings. If there is battle, you will not see all the Kurus or all the Pandavas alive afterward. Kar warriors will be slain by Kar warriors. The population of the earth will be destroyed. Save these monarchs, let them go home to their kingdoms in peace. Let affection be revived. The entire assembly is moved. Everyone approves in their heart, but nobody says a word in front of Duryodhana. Section 96 to 97. The wise men speak. After Krishna's speech, three great sages also speak to Duryodhana. Parshuram tells the story of King Dambodbhava, a proud king who boasted no one could defeat him in a battle. He was eventually humbled by the sage Nara, who defeated his entire army using only a handful of grass blades. The message to Duryodhana is simple. Don't underestimate what you are dealing with. Arjun and Krishna are Nara and Narayana reborn. Kanva adds that Vishnu alone is eternal and unconquerable. Everything else, kings, kingdoms, prosperity is temporary. Why throw all of this away? These are not just moral lectures, they are also strategic warnings that Duryodhana is about to fight God's incarnations and he should think carefully. Section 106 to 123, the long detour Galva story. At this point the text takes a long detour into the story of Galva, a student who stubbornly insisted on paying his teacher Vishwamitra a fee he couldn't afford. His obstinacy leads him on a cosmic journey. He travels with Garud, visits the netherworld, the four directions, and eventually gets his answer through the Princess Madhvi and a string of kings. The moral of the story, when Narad brings it back to the assembly, is this: obstinacy is the root of ruin. Galva's stubbornness nearly destroyed him. Yayati's pride cost him his place in heaven. Duryodhan needs to learn from this. It's a story within a story, but the punchline connects perfectly back to Duryodhan's situation. Section 124 to 130. Duryodhan refuses and walks out. Now comes the confrontation everyone has been waiting for. First, Dhritarashtra asks Krishna to speak directly to Duryodhan. Krishna goes gently, then firmly. He tells Duryodhan, "You are born in a noble race. You are learned, you have good qualities, but you are about to destroy everything because of one flaw. You cannot control your anger and greed." Then Bhishma speaks. Then Drona, then Vidur, then Dhritarashtra himself. Even Gandhari, his own mother, is brought in. She gives him a long, powerful speech. A king who cannot control his passions cannot keep his kingdom. Lust and anger are your enemies, not the Pandavas. Even if Bhishma and Drona fight for you with everything they have, their hearts are equally divided between you and the Pandavas. Do not expect wholehearted loyalty in a war built on injustice. After everyone has made their pleas, and Krishna has made the official request that the Pandavas only wish for 5 villages in return, and then Duryodhan finally answers, "I see no fault in myself. The Pandavas lost their kingdoms fairly at dice. I returned what was won. Whatever happened afterward was a consequence of their own choices. I will not give them even as much land as the point of a needle can cover, not while I live." He gets up and walks out of the court. His brothers follow, the kings follow. Section 130 to 131. The conspiracy and Krishna's Vishwaroop. And then it gets dangerous. Duryodhan, Karna, Shakuni and Dushasan secretly plot to capture Krishna. Their logic is that if they seize Krishna, the Pandavas will be demoralized and unable to fight. Satyaki overhears this and alerts Krishna. Krishna is completely calm. He tells Dhritarashtra, "Let them try. I could seize all of them right now and hand them to the Pandavas, but I won't do that in your presence. It would be a sin. Let Duryodhan do what he wants." And then, to show these plotters exactly who they are dealing with, Krishna reveals his cosmic form. He laughs, and from his laughter, from his body, emerge thousands of gods, each the size of a thumb glazing with light. Brahma appears on his forehead, Rudra on his chest. The Adityas, Vasus, Marutas pour from his mouth. Arjun stands to his right with his bow. Balram stands to his left with his plow. Bhim and Yudhishthir stand behind him. The entire cosmos is contained in his form. Most people in the court close their eyes. The light is too much to bear. Only Bhishma, Drona, Vidur and Sanjay can see it, because Krishna grants them divine sight. Then just as suddenly he withdraws the vision, walks out, calmly mounts his chariot and says to the elders, "You all witnessed what happened here. With your permission, I will now return to Yudhishthir. The mission has failed. The war is now inevitable." Let us now take a quick look at the major characters of this section. First is Krishna, the central figure of this episode. He is sent as a peace envoy by the Pandavas, but he is also, as the text subtly reveals, a cosmic being who is giving Duryodhan a genuine last chance. Duryodhan, the chief antagonist. He is not a cartoon villain. He genuinely believes he has done nothing wrong. Dhritarashtra, the blind king. He knows what is right. He says all the right things, but he cannot act on them. Vidur, the clearest voice in the room. He sees everything correctly, warns Krishna before the Sabha, speaks plainly to Duryodhan after, and even expresses grief not for Duryodhan but for the old blind couple who will be left wandering after the war. Bhishma, the grandfather who has served the Kuru throne his whole life. He pleads with Duryodhan earnestly, warns him that the time to stop is now. Drona, the military teacher of both sides. He supports peace. He tells Duryodhan plainly, Arjun is greater than even what Parshuram has described. But like Bhishma, he is ultimately bound by his position. Gandhari, Duryodhan's mother, she delivers perhaps the most psychologically sophisticated speech of the entire section about how a king must first conquer himself, how lust and wrath are the true enemies. Kunti, the Pandavas' mother, her conversation with Krishna is full of grief for her sons. And yet, when she sends her message, it is not "please make peace to save my children." It is "tell them to fight or I will disown them." She is very fierce. Satyaki, Krishna's loyal companion. His quick thinking in detecting Duryodhan's plot to capture Krishna and immediately alerting both Krishna and Kritvarma to prepare their forces potentially saves the situation. Parshuram, Kanva and Narada, the three sages who add cosmic weight to Krishna's peace appeal. Now some of the major themes. Dharma must be attempted even when it fails. The tragedy of a father's blind love. Pride as self-destruction. what makes a true king. The cosmic and the human are inseparable. Krishna tried everything. He spoke gently, he spoke firmly, he sent the sages, he brought in their mother, he revealed his true form. But Duryodhan still said no. The Kurukshetra war was now unavoidable. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. The same video is also available in Hindi for you to check. It should appear on your screen right now. Thank you and see you again next time.